Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back from the Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure review. Today, taking a look at a 4-pack. It is the new Captain Enoch and Thrawn's Night Troopers Army Builder set, I guess. Hasbro has been doing these 4-pack Army Builder sets for a while now, actually, for a few years. This is actually the first one I've ever picked up. The earlier ones, and actually up until pretty recently, they've all been Hasbro Pulse exclusives, and as far as I know, Canadian retailers just weren't stocking these, so unfortunately, Hasbro Pulse, if you're in Canada, just with the shipping and duties, it just is not worth it to buy from unless it's something you absolutely have to have. But it looks like the more recent sets have been being stocked by Canadian retailers. Amazon and GameStop have both been recently stocking the newer 4-packs, and this is one I definitely wanted to pick up. Thrawn's Night Troopers and Captain Enoch from the Ahsoka show, I think, are really cool looking troopers, so I definitely wanted to have them. But yeah, the set may be a little controversial, maybe. I don't know if controversial is the right word, but I know some people probably aren't super pleased that a named character is in this set, because if you do want an army build, you're getting a named character every time. And while Enoch is a super cool figure, and some people might not mind having multiples of him, a lot of people just aren't going to want multiples of Enoch, but want multiples of all the others. So I always find it's a little weird when they put named characters in sets that are meant to be army built, or mainly meant to be army built. But for me, I don't care. I'm only buying one. I don't really do much army building, so I'm pretty happy with this. But taking a look at the box, actually a really small box. They just put them in wrap inside. They don't waste too much space. But the picture is pretty cool. You got Enoch and the Night Troopers. For some reason, some of them are using Clone Trooper DC-15 carbines. I don't know why. That's really random. Some have the right blasters, and then some don't. It's kind of weird, but I like the picture. There's another picture on the top there. Nothing on the side, nothing on the bottom. Just another picture of just the 4 actual figures you get in the box, and that's pretty much it. So I'll take the figures out, and we'll take a closer look. And here we have the figures, and yeah, it's a really solid set, and it's pretty much what I expected. It is retooling of the same Stormtrooper mold that we've had for a while now in TVC, which is perfectly fine for the most part. This is the definitive 3¼ Stormtrooper. There is one major tweak I wish they'd do to this body, but aside from that, I don't see much reason to not reuse this. But there's actually a fair amount of new tooling, because all of the red wrapping on the armor is actually sculpted detail, not just painted. So they had to do new sculpts for all that. But yeah, let's take a look at each Stormtrooper individually. We'll take a look at Enoch last, because he is the most kind of unique, I guess. But first off, take a look at this guy. They all have different kind of paint detailing of the repaired armor and the wrapping. I think what they ended up doing is they sculpted a whole Stormtrooper figure with the head wrapping on each piece, and then they just mix and match the parts together to make them all different, and then obviously did different paint jobs. But the figure looks really good. That Stormtrooper helmet mold still is really nice, and I really like all the gold accents. None of these are sculpted detail, they're just painted, but that's okay. The mouth grill or whatever actually is pretty decently painted as well. The wraps, like I said, they are sculpted detail. Most of them are anyways. And they are painted pretty well. Not too messy. Here and there there's a bit of imperfections, but it's not too bad. He's got the wraps around the waist and the chest and on the shoulder and on the arm there, and a little bit on the leg, and then more of that gold repaired detailing. I think looks pretty good, and I do like that they put some of the gold detailing on the back too. A lot of times Hasbro figures, they'll not put all the paint detailing on the back, they'll only put it on the front, but we do have a little bit on the back, so that is nice. Each of the Stormtroopers, not Enoch, but the normal troopers, they all come with the same E11 blaster. It's nicely sculpted. It's just cast in a gray plastic, but it looks good. You can hold it well in the trigger hand. You can get two-handed poses, no problem. There is nowhere to store it though, but that's okay. I don't think they had holsters in the show, so that is accurate. But you can get good blaster poses with these guys, no problem. The articulation scheme is the same for all the figures, including Enoch. But they have a dumbbell joint in the neck, so you get a decent range of motion. Nothing too crazy because of the helmet, but it's still pretty good. Shoulder joints that move out pretty well. They rotate. Single hinges at the elbows that move about 90, and they rotate as well. Swivels at the wrists, and you got in and out at the left hand and up and down at the right hand, which is good. There is a torso ball joint, which is okay. It doesn't really crunch forward like at all. It does to go back, and it does pivot an okay amount, and it rotates, of course. The one spot on these figures I wish they would retool is the hips, the hip joints. They're still using the old like swivel hinge, so you have to like, if you want to kick the leg out, you have to swivel it, hinge it, and then you got to rotate the bicep swivel to get it proper. I really like, obviously this is better than swivel hips, but I really don't like this articulation. It's so clunky and not that fun to pose. I really wish they just bite the bullet and just retool that on these Stormtroopers, because once they fix the hips, honestly, I think they don't have to do anything else on this mold. It's just, once that's done, it's the definitive Stormtrooper mold, and they can just keep running with it at that point. But it's not a huge deal, but it is kind of disappointing to see that's not been retooled yet. But yeah, you do have the swivel cut at the thigh as well. Single hinge at the knee that goes about 90 and rotates, of course. And you do have hinges at the ankles, and then these do have the rocker joints as well. So they're all well articulated. It's just like I said, the hip joints, I wish they would retool that. Next up on this one, he's got the like fully gray face and a lot of gold on the face. I really like that a lot. Looks really neat. Also has the chest wraps, but he does have more wrappings on the shoulder here this time, and also on the forearm. And then has wrapping on this leg, and then down here on this leg as well. Won't go too crazy. They're all the same figure, just with some different wrapping and paint details. But I do like this one. Looks pretty good. Again, you got a little bit on the back there. They probably could have did a little more of the gold detailing on the back of each of these figures, but yeah, it's not a big deal. And then this one here has gray on like the lower part of the chin, lower part of the face, and a nice amount of gold there as well, which is really nice looking. And more of that red wrapping he's got on both lower legs this time. Got some gray on the legs there as well with the gold. Yeah, there's not really too much to say, but they all look really, really nice. Definitely pretty unique looking on the shelf among other Stormtroopers and whatnot. But obviously the most new is Enoch himself. He does have the very unique helmet with that face mask, all in gold with the black eyes. I think looks super cool. I think this turned out really well. The red Imperial logos there on the forehead. We are getting a Black Series Enoch and Night Trooper 2-pack. That is a Walmart exclusive. I actually did get a pre-order for that. That was actually not that hard to get, so I think that's going to be pretty easy to get, and we'll see how that compares to this figure. But this guy looks really nice. A lot of really nice gold detailing. This helmet design is super sick. Torso, I do believe, yeah, torso is a new sculpt. He does have a kind of a wider chest, as you can see. So that is new. But then I think the rest of the figure, aside from this waist piece, is reuse of the Stormtrooper mold. He does have this more reddish color to the undersuit than the black the Stormtroopers have. Got a fair amount of gold detailing there. The little waist comma skirt thing looks really cool. It is just plastic, but is a fairly pliable plastic. He does have a working holster there that can store his blaster. And you got the legs there that have more of that gold. He actually does have a bit more of the gold on his back, which I think is pretty neat. But yeah, he looks really cool. Like I said, same articulation. He has those same hip joints. I wish they'd change. Then his accessory, he does have the one with the different blaster. He has his unique pistol, or I mean, it's like the same size as the Stormtrooper rifle, so maybe it's a rifle. I really don't know. But it's like a modified version of that Imperial pistol you see with like Death Troopers and maybe some officers and whatnot. It's got a fair amount of nice little gold highlights on it, which look pretty cool. Stores in the holster nice and securely. You can also hold it, of course, though, in the trigger hand, and he holds that really well, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, not too much else to say about them, though. I mean, you can kind of see for yourself, and they're all like the same figure, just with some variations. But it's a very cool set. A lot of very cool colors and differences going on that make them look really nice on the shelf and among your other figures. But I guess for some quick comparisons before we end off here, here he is with a normal white Stormtrooper. So it might be a little hard to see on camera, but the standard, just normal Stormtrooper actually has a much more pearly, brighter white. I didn't really notice until comparing them that the new figures, the Night Troopers, definitely have a more, not off-white, like they're still white, but they're definitely like a darker, dirtier sort of white, I guess. It's hard to explain, which I would make sense because they've been out in that planet for like 10 years and have to repair it and all that jazz. Doesn't come off quite as much on the camera, but in person the white is quite a difference between all these, which is kind of funny. And then of course they are Thrawn's Night Troopers. So here he is with the TVC Thrawn. This is the Rebels realistic interpretation Thrawn that they made last year, I think. Yeah, I think it was last year. And they look really good with them. Of course, this isn't like 100% accurate Thrawn to display with these guys. They are releasing an Ahsoka version of Thrawn that I am planning to get. I have it on pre-order. I think it's going to come out later this year. So they'll look really good with him. But for now, they'll look good with the Rebels one. But that's pretty much it. Not too much else to talk about. Overall, I think it is a great set. If you're interested at all at having Enoch and the Night Troopers, I would definitely recommend picking up this set. Even if you just want Enoch, I think I still might as well put the money down and just get the Night Troopers to go with them as well, because I do like having the Thrawn with these little squad of Night Troopers and Enoch. I think it just looks really cool. Because I don't know if Enoch will get a single release. My guess would be surely they'd have to do that eventually, but I don't know if any other figures, like unique figures from any of these 4-packs, have had single releases yet, so I don't know if that's something you should bank on or not. Yeah, overall, really solid set that I would definitely recommend anyways. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.